Welcome viewers, this is Winch here. Yes, the console scrub is playing on PC. One is starting a new series now, Planetside 2 gameplay. All new content for me, kind of drinking from a fire hose here, so forgive me guys as I am still learning this game. What I want to talk about in this video is the relation to this game to Battlefield 3, because most of you know that's my experience coming from Battlefield 3. And I want to talk about how Planetside 2 has, you're going to be hearing some of my background chatter here with my squad mates. What I want to talk about with Planetside 2, how it translates for Battlefield 3 players like myself, and maybe many of you considering getting this game. There are a lot of similarities between this game and Battlefield 3. And again, I know there's a lot of content out there with Planetside 2, but from what I've observed, and I don't know about you guys, is coming from an unfamiliar background and completely new to PC gaming, a lot of the material out there does not translate. And what I would note in this gameplay, by the way, is look at the elevation advantage this team has, and that's a critical factor in this game. If a team's got the high ground, more likely they're going to have a tactical advantage on you. But again, this is a concept that's familiar from us coming from Battlefield 3. And that's one thing I'm seeing translate directly from this game, as you can see as I accept a revive from my teammate. As you can see that green stuff there coming from my teammates. There are various classes in this game. They do support each other. There's medics, there's assault classes, there's heavy assaults. And basically what it does is it allows you to adapt your gameplay to meet the needs of your role to support your team. So this game is all about teamwork, just like we're used to with Battlefield 3. So that's a great thing we like to see in games nowadays, is seeing various vehicle gameplay, seeing first-person shooter, and what this game does beautifully is it blends all the three in a seamless combination, and so it's a lot of fun to play this game, and I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I'm still a little rusty with the control scheme, of course, coming from console. I'm used to controller type support. Fortunately, that's not the case with this game. You pretty much got to use a keyboard and mouse, even though they do support joysticks and stuff. Not really that good. And there's me shooting at a max. I'll talk about that later on. So I am getting better. I'll have to say the learning curve is much less significant for a console guy coming to PC as opposed to a PC guy going to console, because it's pretty intuitive using the keyboard and mouse. Although I'm using kind of a hybrid type controller that uses a combination controller and mouse shooter, so it's pretty good. But look at these moments in this game as we're trying to onslaught this facility. It's all live gameplay. Everything you see is a player playing. And look at that vehicle in the air that this was bombarding the hill. They're giving us some air support. That's a Liberator aircraft on our side, and I'm playing as a new conglomerate. Several factions in this game you can play as well. But it's all dynamic and it's all real time, and it's difficult too in some cases when you're trying to traverse again this vertical terrain. You'll see me struggle here to move on through that. But air support, you got ground support, you got infantry support, so there's all kinds of dynamics. It's literally a real life type futuristic war simulator, just like Battlefield 3 is. Everything's very balanced for the most part. Don't expect to go Rambo in there and taking out the whole team like you can in Call of Duty. That's not going to play on this game. So let's talk about roles and weapons in Battlefield 3, how they kind of translate to this. Now, depending on what faction you choose, they're pretty much kind of similar, though. Like I'm playing the new conglomerate, so they pretty much have particle or projectile type weapons. Here's me shooting a rocket launcher, just like you'd have a small and engineer class. So think of this class as the heavy assault is kind of like the engineer and support combined into one. And I just took out this vehicle, or assisted in that, and watch out as I go here. Look at this tire rolling down the hill there. I'll show that again on fire. That's pretty cool, I thought. Again, the graphics of this game, obviously PC is incredible. Even with the heavy graphics processor, I've got a 2 GB dedicated graphics processor. A pretty good i7 quad-core processor, Intel Pentium processor. I only have 8 gigabytes of memory. I need to double that to 16. But even with all that, I mean, this is pretty much a brand new computer. This game still taxes the capabilities of your hardware. So, I mean, I was still running probably about 60 frames a second for the most part, with the exception of recording. It drops down a little bit. But if you don't have a computer that can really support this game, more likely, I mean, what I'm trying to say is if your computer's older, more likely it's not going to support this game. So that's another big downfall of PC gaming, unfortunately. Seems like every couple of years you're moving on. As you can see here, what I've done is I spawned behind this base that we're trying to take here. Look at this infiltrator right here. That's another thing. The recon class, if you want to call it that, that's an infiltrator right there. They have a little special tactic that basically makes them invisible for a short amount of time. So that's pretty cool, but I pulled off that kill there as he was going into cloak. So again, lots of little dynamic, big changes here. But again, the overall tactics of this game feel much similar to me to Battlefield 3 than anything. As you're taking on lots of vehicles, getting revived by your teammates, assault classes, medics, heavy assault, and then they have like what they call a max support, which is like a big robot, which you'll see me taking on here in a little bit. But rocket launchers, assault rifles, very similar to Battlefield 3 in a lot of ways. As I'm playing with the heavy assault here, I have kind of like LMG type weapons, what they call a Gauss rifle, just basically a big magazine, box drum kind of thing. I'm shooting these rocket launchers. Now this one is guided, and I need to say here, mention too, the big difference with this game, of course, it is free to play. However, to unlock certain weapons, you basically have to earn experience to unlock them. They call that certification points. Now to unlock a typical weapon, it's like 750 certification points. That's a lot of points, let me tell you. It takes you a long time just to get 100 points. And that's without playing with a little booster or anything. So to get around that, what you can do is actually purchase a weapon with station cash is what they call it, which is basically real money. And it ain't cheap. At 750 points, let me tell you, that's about, it basically equates to, it's almost like pesos if you want to call it that. 100 pesos equals about $1 is kind of the way I'm observing this. So 750 station cash is basically 750 is what it costs for you to unlock one weapon. Now I got on special a little deal they had on Black Friday where I got 10,000 station cash for $60, and that's normally what you get with $50. Excuse me, I got 10,000 station cash for the price of $60, and that's normally a $100 buy. So you know, it's roughly, like I said, it's about roughly what it translates to. But bottom line, it's not cheap. There's an incredible amount of content to unlock in this game, and it will take you immensely long time to do so. As I show here some gameplay and vehicles here coming up. If you want to lock, like in my last clip with me in the Reaver, which is kind of like a basically a fighter. If you want to lock like rocket pods or something like that, and that's 1,000. That's 1,000 station cash. So you're talking $10. But if you don't have rocket pods, you're pretty much useless against ground vehicles. I mean, you can do damage, but you're going to be very limited. So it's kind of the good and bad aspects of this game. I mean, they got to make money, guys. There's no question on that. This is kind of, I've touched on this before in my Mech Warrior video about how Mech Warrior Online is going to this type thing where it's a free-to-play game, but if you want to unlock more mechs to play in, if you want better weapons, it all costs money, or you can try to grind it out getting experience, but it takes so long to get the experience. You know, bottom line, you're gonna invest time, one or the other. Now you can purchase what they call boosters. Like you can purchase a 7-day booster, which increases your experience. Right here you can see me in the tank. This is called the Vanguard tank. There's basically two classes of tanks, a heavy and a light tank. I'm in the heavy tank here called the Vanguard on the new conglomerate. A lot of fun here. As you can see the reload bar there, but I'm taking out a few enemies here. Again, it's very tactical, kind of like Battlefield 3. You got more armor in your front, less on your back, so you kind of have to be aware of that. But what I was talking about boosters earlier is you can increase the amount of experience you get throughout the game by buying let's say a week-long booster, which maybe doubles the amount of XP you normally get on an average kill. And let's say a 7-day booster is, I don't know, I can't recall if it's 250 station cash or 500, something like that. Anyway, so like $5, you can get extra experience. That way, maybe you don't invest so much money, but you can increase your rate of return on your experience gain. You see what I'm saying? So it's a different mindset in regards of, you know, Battlefield 3, we're just used to buying the game or premium, and we're good to go. We're all on the same playing field. But with PC, that's one thing I've never played MMOs before, so it's something new to me that again, it's just the wave of the future here, because with all the piracy going on out there, and I see it too on console too, people always trying to game share premium and stuff like that. It really ticks me off because, you know, we need to support the developers or else we're not going to have games to play. So this is a direction a lot of games are going now, where you basically have a constant stream of funding into the games. And it's just an unfortunate consequence of the gaming direction nowadays. But look at these moments in this game. I mean, look at all these players. The battles in this are incredible. And now, of course, coming from console, I never experienced the 64-man servers on Battlefield 3, even though I have it on PC. Bottom line, I just prefer to play it on console because that's what I'm really comfortable with. I'm just not going to be able to produce the same level of content in terms of good gameplay on PC that I can on console. I mean, I've got 600 some hours, 700 hours, I don't know, invested on console. With that kind of experience, I'm just not going to have the same capability as I am on PC. But moving on with Planetside 2, obviously I will be playing strictly on the PC because that's the only platform it's available on. But it really astonishes me the scale of these combat experiences going on here. Again, as I'm playing my role here, and that was an epic fail shot on a rocket launcher. Teamwork is so vital here as I'm communicating with my team, and this is all the players in my squad list here. As you can see, you've got squads, you got platoons. You can have it on squad chat, platoon chat. It's all about working together as a team, but as you heard, and I'm sure most of you aware, if you're not playing as a team in this game, it can be quite a struggle, that is. So what I've experienced, though, is that when you get into an average game, you can usually get into squad all right, that people know what they're doing, but what I find disappointing and frustrating is the lack of people that play with mics. Now, I'm going to say hands down 2-to-1 on console. We've got 2, maybe even 3 times the amount of mic participation on an average game than you do observe on PC. And I don't understand this, guys. I mean, maybe PC guys can elaborate this for me. Why is it that whenever I get into a game, I just don't hear people talking on mics? To me, it's a very not that big of a cost commitment, and for such a team-based game you would think everybody would have a mic, but that's really not the case. That's kind of one of my big gripes about this game, is that if this is all about teamwork, then why aren't we talking? You know what I mean? Here I am in a galaxy in a gunner position, shooting kind of like a grenade launcher. Again, another aspect of this game, similar to Battlefield 3, and like you have the gunner seat and the chopper. Basically, you have, just think of it as a gunner seat on steroids. You got a much bigger vehicle in the air, by the way, a much fatter target to ground units, air units, everything. But you get multiple gunners in this thing. It can be a lot of fun in the right situation. Now, I haven't had that moment yet where I've just been like massacring the team. Honestly, I haven't had any of those moments yet because I'm still filling out this game, understanding it, trying to find people to play with. So it's all kind of new to me, but you still have these moments where you start to figure it out and see the potential of what these vehicles can do. You can really understand how they can change the dynamics of engagement on the battlefield as they come up here and take out an enemy sunder from the air. And I can imagine you can take out quite a few ground vehicles with this, and infantry as well. There's a guy shooting a surface terror missile right there, so we're pulling out of there. But again, look at these graphics. There's lush environments in this game, dynamic environments all across the board. You got ice, you got jungle, you got desert, as you fight on Arcata here, on 3 separate continents. Here I am taking out an enemy, I think it's a Liberator. A little hard for me telling this footage, as he's attempting to take this air facility out. So you get big points when you do things like that. It will be cumulative. It'll help you increase your experience. Lots of fun this game is here. As I wrap it up with just a quick little Reaver gameplay. I'm still trying to figure this thing out because I'm not used to how to fly this thing. Again, to me, I tried using it with a joystick, a real joystick. It did not work that well, so I'm back to the keyboard and mouse and making a pass here on a Terran Republic site there. But look, again, the graphics in this game is second to none. The environments are huge. There's multiple battles going on everywhere. Look, this is the scope of these vehicles when you're getting together with your team to onslaught a biolab or a tech factory. It's pretty intuitive stuff, but if you're coming from Battlefield 3, I think a lot of this stuff's going to translate. You already have the teamwork mindset, and you have a lot of potential to really enjoy this game for years to come. So I encourage you guys to pick this game up. To make a quick rocket strike here, I don't even think I got a kill on it, unfortunately. But I'm enjoying this game nonetheless. I'll have lots more content to come as I learn this game more. Please like and subscribe to the video, guys. Let me know what you want to see with Planetside 2. And this is Winshire. I'll have more content to come.